My passion is to empower and uplift all women, but especially women in their midlife. And what I want to do is to inspire and help women to become the best versions of themselves. Look good, feel good, do good. Hello everyone, and welcome to Style Your Life. I am Corinne Kavanaugh, and I am your host this evening, and I'm so excited to be here with you all. Welcome to the show. I am the founder of Style by Corinne, Style Your Life. My passion is to empower and uplift all women, but especially women in midlife, from 35 to 65, to feel and look amazing. I believe that when you feel and look amazing, your confidence grows, and with confidence, that just takes you wherever you need to go in this world. I want my platform to be a space for women to feel comfortable joining in and to just listening to topics that all of us women in midlife, things that we all experience, real talk for real women. And that's just what I'm so passionate about, is just to be real, because there are so many things in life. Women from all walks of life, we all experience a lot of the same things. So I just want my space and my platform to be a place of comfort and a place for you all to just join in and feel supported, and to know that you're not alone in a lot of the things that you're going through. So tonight, before we get started, I just want to check in with you all, see how you're doing, what's all new and exciting. I mean, we're all still dealing with the lovely COVID-19 the best we can, learning how to manage our lives and find fulfillment in our daily routines. I know for us, like I live here in Central Alberta, Canada, and things have opened up pretty good. We're still in stage 2, but a lot of the restaurants are open, and our Alberta government is looking at stage 3 coming soon. So of course that will include rec centers, movie theaters, that type of thing. Our numbers are doing pretty good. So you know what, we all have to do our best and do what we need to do to stay healthy and to stay safe and to live our best quality of life that we can. So yes, I just wanted to see how you guys were all doing with that too. So you know what, last week I was thinking, I've really been feeling an impending sadness, knowing that my husband and I are soon going to be empty nesters. And when I was thinking about my topic for this evening's show, I'm like, you know what? That is something that so many of us in midlife are going through. It's the empty nest syndrome. And I thought, why not? Why not share my experience, my story, and what I've done to kind of help myself? Because you know what? We are at the end of July. August is coming along, and soon it's September, and there's going to be many of us who have children going into grade 12 and soon going off to university or college or moving out of home, however that may look. And there's a lot of apprehension about that. So that's what I chose to discuss tonight, is the impending empty nest syndrome, my thoughts and feelings. And let me tell you, I am not a professional. I have life experience. I am a mom of 2. And I've already went through my oldest son leaving our nest, and he is now out of the house. So I can give you a perspective from that point of view. And then I also have another son who goes into grade 12 in September, and I'm already starting to, feel my heart in my throat when I think of him having to leave. So I have kind of 2 viewpoints. So I'll just share with you, what our experience was like and what I did. And I hope it helps you feel some comfort and knowing that, at the end of the day, everything is going to be okay. So I'll start back. It was 5 years ago. Our oldest son was 18, and he was going to a university that's about an hour and a half out from where we live. And all that summer, I was just dreading the day of when we were going to have to pack him up, take him to his place, get him settled. And you know what? And before I knew it, that day did come. So, like I said, we got him up there. We ran around campus, found his classes, filled his fridge with food, got him, used to the neighborhood, the public transportation. It was all good. And then we had to say goodbye. We had to go home. And I'll never forget my feeling of that, separating, that having to hug him and kiss him goodbye and leave. It felt like a hole was being ripped out of my heart. It was one of the most difficult things I've had to do in my life, was to let him go. And that whole drive home, there were so many tears, and I was giving myself pep talks about it's going to be okay, he's going to be okay. And even in the summer, I was telling our son, Nathan, I'm like, Nathan, you do realize that when we drop you off, you are the one that's responsible for yourself. And I'm talking laundry, cooking, groceries, getting up in time for class, not sleeping in. I said, you do realize that is going to be on you. And we tried to prepare him as much as we could. And of course, it was always like, Mom, I know, and I'll do it when I have to. You don't need to explain it to me. And he says, hey, I can Google stuff. I can figure out how my laundry is and cooking and everything like that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you know what? We tried, and I'm like, he's going to find out. So, when we had to say goodbye, going back, when we had to say our actual goodbye and go home, and he was there, I'm like, okay, I felt like I was throwing him out to the wolves, and he was having to survive, and it's a big deal, right? So, we get home, and there were many calls and texts and back and forth. And I mean, I couldn't wait for the first weekend for him to come home. So, yay, the first weekend came, and it was cute, right? He's had all these stories to tell, and he comes home with his big bag of laundry, and he's asking, Mom, can you please do my laundry, and can you send me some care packages? And I was more than glad to, and it made me feel good, and I was just so thankful that we got through the first big week, and so it was good. And then, of course, then we had to say goodbye again on Sunday night, and then you have to go through that whole big separation thing again. And then I had myself just saying, okay, Corinne, it's the next weekend. And then after that, it's like, when is the next long weekend? And thank God, then you'll be home for 3 nights. And then it was like, thank God it's Christmas. And oh my gosh, it's like 2 weeks. We're all together. My kids are all back in the nest. It was all good. And it was great to have all that time. So then second semester starts. And you know what? Things started to routines were getting better. He was getting more comfortable in his environment. He met some friends. And yes, of course, we called and text, but he wasn't coming home or needing to come home every weekend. It was starting to get once every 2. And then, of course, when midterms and finals were impending, he wasn't able to get home because he had to stay and study, or he had study groups or whatever. And then before you know it, April came and he was done his first year. And I look back on that and I'm like, we did it. We did it. We got through it. He survived. Sure, there were ups and downs and some tears and anxieties and sadness, but we got through it. And that's what I'm going to say to everybody out there. There's so many of us moms, right, and dads that experience this intense and immense emptiness and sadness and loneliness and grieving almost, because it's like a member of your family has left, and we all have to figure out our new way of normal and adapt. But after that first year, I realized we did it and it was good. So now I'm on this side of the fence where Nathan has completed his 5 years of university. And every year that it happened, that he had to go back, it got easier and easier. And guess what? He learned how to do his laundry, and he learned how to cook, and he learned to go and get groceries, and he learned and he matured and he found out so much about himself. So, you know what? It doesn't mean it'll be easy, but you know what? As parents, we always worry, right? And that's just how it is. So I'm just looking at I have some key points, and I just want to make sure that I get everything in. And oh yeah, and one more thing I wanted to say is, okay, so our oldest son left. You may say to me, well, you still had one at home, Corinne. You still had Justin at home. And you know what? That is the truth. Justin, I was very happy to have Justin, but Justin at the time, he was busy with his sports, he was busy with his friends, he had a part-time job, and then even now, with Nathan permanently out of the house, he's got all those three things, plus he has a girlfriend. So right now, Darcy and I are really experiencing the soon-to-be empty nest syndrome for good. You know what? There's only the two of us that go for walks now, the two of us that go for bike rides, the two of us that only go out for dinner, the two of us that only watch a Netflix movie downstairs. The majority of the time, it's just the two of us. So we are getting a really good taste of what an empty nest really feels like. So some of the things that I did to kind of ground myself and deal with all my feelings when Nathan first left is I just kept myself busy. I started my own business, Style by Corinne, and I felt that just contributing to society in meaningful ways, helping women feel good and feel better made me feel better. Giving and keeping back made me feel better and filled my heart. So keeping busy and giving and helping to others was amazing for me. Another thing is, you know what? I tried to take that time to reconnect with myself and with my husband. I found ways, not only starting my business, but just more self-care. I started really getting into exercise more, especially I do 10 kilometers walks, probably about 6 days a week, looking after making sure I'm eating better. Just more self-care, more self-love, right? More positive self-thinking and just talking better to myself. And also old hobbies. So I started a few things of those that I never had time to do before. Even my husband and I, you know what we're doing during the week is we'll go out on Wednesday for Wing Wednesday, have some wine, and just have time to reconnect that we never did before during the week because our kids were home, right? And we maybe didn't have money back then either to be going out and eating all the time. So that's a really great thing. And also, if I can give some advice, because I did this at the beginning, and I would check in a lot with Nathan, like a lot. And after a while, Nathan's like, Mom, there's nothing different going on today than was yesterday. He says, I literally get up, get ready, go to school, come home, eat, study. I maybe play some video games, and it's time for bed. And I get up and I do the same thing. He goes, you don't need to be texting all the time or calling all the time. And, and that's the truth. You know what? None of us like to be micromanaged. We just don't. We don't like somebody down our throats. We need to trust them, and they need to know that we trust them, and they will reach out and stay connected. You know what? We need to trust that we've raised our kids to be competent decision makers, and if they need us, they too will reach out to us. So just giving them a little space and not being a helicopter parent, I found when I started just easing off a little bit, it was better.
So just, trust that they know kind of what they're doing, and just giving them that breathing room. And and lastly, you know what? Reach out to your family, your friends, for any support that you feel that you may need. And if not that, a professional mental health worker. There's no shame in that. And go for it. If that's what you need, that's what you need. All of us need support sometimes, and it's not saying that you're weak. So, you know what? I relied on, well, my spouse, thankfully, and not everybody can say that, but he was a great support for me. But I mean, I reached out to my friends and to my family, and it was comforting to know that they were there. So yeah, so that's what I need to say about the impending empty nest, or the empty nest syndrome. It's, if we've done our jobs right, the thing for our kids to take flight and to live their life is what we want. That ultimately, we do want that. I mean, heaven forbid we have adult kids living with us forever. I mean, it's not healthy, and it would not be good. So always know, and I always tell myself that when they are ready to be more independent and to take flight and do their things, that we've done our job right. And we all need to find comfort in knowing that. So what I like to do, coming to the end of my show, what I always love to do is I love quotes. And I found a quote tonight that I would like to share with you. The author is unknown, and it goes like this. There are two gifts we should give our children. One is roots, and the other is wings. And that's the truth. So, again, thank you for joining me tonight. If you want to connect with me, you'll find me on Instagram, Style by Corinne, as well as my website, stylebycorinne.com. And if you want to be on my show, I'd love to have you. Let's talk about stuff that you're experiencing in your life as a middle-aged woman. This is a welcoming, safe, comfortable platform, and just to talk about things that we all experience in our life, and to let other women our age know they're not alone, and to give tips and ways that we're dealing with things. I just feel it helps us all feel good and confident, knowing that we're not perfect. We're all flying by the seat of our pants. A lot of us are in the same boat. So I'd love to have you. I'm on many different radio platforms. So, if you're a woman in business, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, anything that you would like to get your exposure to, let me know, and we'll see what we can arrange. So with that, stay safe, stay connected to your family and friends, stay healthy, and stay fabulously you. Look good, feel good, do good. Style your life. Good night, everyone.